Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into something, well, unexpected. We're doing a close look at the song Execute Them All by Juju Cartoons.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, we've got the lyrics right here from Genius Lyrics and also the transcript from the official music video on the Juju Cartoons YouTube channel. So we've got the source material.
Exactly. And our mission, for you listening in, is to really, get under the skin of this track. We want to unpack its layers, figure out the references, the tone.
And maybe understand why it exists, right?
Yeah.
And why it might be kind of intriguing or memorable.
Definitely. So if you're into internet culture, music trends, maybe even just some really unexpected dark humor, this should be interesting.
Okay, so first impressions, the initial reaction. It's got to be the juxtaposition, hasn't it? You hear these voices, these references to Teen Titans, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs.
Subjects you know so well.
Right. But then the lyrics hit you, and they are aggressively different. Super explicit language, violent themes.
It's a total head-scratcher at first, isn't it? Like, wait, Robin said what? The contrast is just, wow.
It's dark, yeah. But then you look at the artist's name, Juju Cartoons. That itself kind of signals something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it flags it pretty clearly. Comedy, maybe? Parody? It suggests it's probably not meant to be taken, completely straight.
Exactly. That context is key. So let's try and pick apart some of the main themes in the lyrics. And oh boy, the references. There are so many references.
Where do we even start? The title itself, Execute Them All, sets a pretty aggressive tone from the jump. And that feeling, that opposition that runs through the whole thing, especially the chorus.
And the chorus hits you with that line, execute them all like my last name's Stalin. Bam!
Whoa, yeah. It's quite the comparison. Bringing in Stalin, what does that even evoke in this context? It's so jarring.
It is. It links the aggression to this historical figure of absolute brutal power. It's provocative, to say the least. Maybe trying to max out the shock.
Could be. And you get Robin's verse, and it's just this whirlwind. Starts kind of familiar, Batman training, sidekick to leader.
Yeah, the usual origin story beats.
But then it flips hard. Pop 3 mollies, jumping off a cliff. That's not exactly fighting the Joker, is it?
Not even close. And that extreme shift, that's where the dark humor seems to live, wouldn't you say? Taking the familiar and twisting it into something extreme.
Absolutely. And the references keep flying. Starfire's verse mentions Tamarin. Her powers connects to her origins.
Standard stuff for her character.
But then she drops lines about grabbing someone's neck tighter than a virgin. I mean...
Wow. Yeah. Deliberately crude. Deliberately shocking. Again, playing on that contrast with a character usually presented as powerful, but, maybe a bit naive or certainly not that.
It's like they're dragging these symbols through the mud, but it's so over the top it becomes almost darkly funny in a really weird way.
Right, and Robin jumps back in, doesn't he? With even more chaos.
Oh, yeah. Fed's calling me like I'm Saul. So, a Better Call Saul reference, the shady lawyer.
Legal trouble.
Then he compares himself to Jake Paul, the controversial YouTuber.
That's a very specific, very online reference right there.
It's this constant mix, isn't it? Pop culture, internet drama, all mashed together. And some of it is almost mundane, like the deli line.
Still beating ass at the deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just odd. Right next to being preggy with hollow rounds?
The whiplash is intense. What about those lines about the mayor, Bill, and Will Smith? They feel almost nonsensical.
They do. I mayor this place. They all thought I was Bill My Smith in his face. They all thought it was Will. It's like this boastful wordplay that barely hangs together. Maybe just throwing names out there.
It feels like pure stream of consciousness aggression, packed with whatever reference came to mind first. Maximize the shock, maximize maybe the meme potential.
Could be. And it doesn't stop. Robin then gets suggestive cooking, grilling, appearance stuff.
Popping a pill, grabbing her thigh. It just keeps piling on things you'd least expect Robin to say or do.
It's like a checklist of edgy tropes mapped onto him. Okay, then Beast Boy comes in swinging.
Yeah, his opening is pretty raw. Bitch, I'm going ape shit. I think I'm constipated because I don't take shit.
Charming. Right off the bat, very crude. Then he switches gears a bit, talking about money.
Right, money shapeshift, saying his is real, others is fake. Flexing, basically.
Which feels like tapping into, common rap themes, right? Wealth, status, authenticity.
But filtered through Beast Boy. And then that Drake lawsuit line. Heard they trying to sue me, you must be on that Drake shit. That feels super current.
Very tapped into recent online chatter, yeah. Anchors it in a specific moment.
And then... Well, then the lyrics get really explicit and pretty demeaning towards women.
Which, again, is just miles away from the goofy Beast Boy we usually see. The contrast is the whole point, seemingly.
He keeps going the wealth thing too, right?
Yeah.
Unlimited money, cheat codes, expensive clothes.
Yeah, just exaggerating that whole persona to an almost cartoonish degree, which ironically fits the cartoon character delivering it.
Okay, Raven's turn. Her verse feels a bit different. Still edgy, but maybe more calculated.
Yeah.
Well, she talks about spinning the block like Tetris. That's an interesting image. Calculated moves and hitting with hockey sticks.
Hockey sticks. Yeah, that's unexpected for Raven. Not exactly her usual mystical arsenal.
It feels random, but maybe intentionally so, to keep you off balance.
Possibly. Then she does lean into her usual vibe, Dragon in Hell, that fits. But then the comparisons get weird again.
Right. Fucking with Beast, but I ain't Belle. Okay, Beauty and the Beast. Then,
Set fire to the lames like I'm Adele.
Adele. Setting fire, like lyrically, maybe, from her songs. But the literal image is just bizarre. Did that one jump out at you?
It definitely did. It's so random, it's almost funny. Like, what connection are they even making? Pure absurdity seems to be the goal.
And the Mentos line. I stay fresh like Cementos from Raven. Seriously.
Hilarious. Just utterly mundane and out of character.
But then she does drop her iconic spell, Azarath Mitrion Zinthos. So they know the source material.
Oh, for sure. And references Trigon, her dad, her kinfolk. It grounds it back slightly before hitting the classic Titans Go battle cry. Even after all that.
It's a roller coaster. Then Cyborg. His verse keeps that mix going, right?
Yeah, cybernetic artillery, which fits. But then he immediately throws in some pretty crude, suggestive wordplay involving anatomy.
Right. That seems to be a recurring thing. And the computer metaphors land well for him, you know?
Definitely. Control C, but you can never copy me. Backspace like I press delete. That works for Cyborg's character, conceptually.
But again, it's all in service of this really violent, explicit persona. And then D.B. Cooper.
Get the bread and disappear like D.B. Cooper. Yeah, that's a deep cut, isn't it, from the 70s?
Totally. Amidst all the current slang and anime references, suddenly this decades-old unsolved mystery pops up. What's with that mix?
I think it might just be part of the chaos. Throwing in references from everywhere, old news, new memes, high culture, low culture, just to amplify the sense of parody and keep things unpredictable.
And then it's back to the explicit stuff again. And a Blue Lock reference at the end.
Yeah, the anime. Another very current, maybe slightly more niche reference point.
So, taking it all in, these beloved characters, these incredibly harsh, reference-packed, often crude lyrics, what's the overall effect? Is it just shock? Is the comedy just the surprise?
I mean, the shock is definitely a huge part of it. That initial, wait, what? But the sheer density and absurdity, I think that builds the comedic effect. The unexpectedness is the engine.
What could it be more? Like you mentioned parody.
Yeah, I think you could argue it's parodying certain trends, maybe some aspects of contemporary rap. The aggression, the hypersexualization, the constant flexing. By pushing it to such an extreme, using these specific characters.
It makes you notice those tropes more clearly.
Possibly. It forces a kind of reflection through exaggeration, maybe. Or maybe it's just meant to be funny and shocking online content.
Let's quickly touch on the production details. Producer? Your boy Sponge on JJC1. Writer? Juju Cartoons. Release date listed as Feb 22, 2025.
And those genre tags on Genius are telling. Rap, USA, English, underground rap, parody, comedy.
Right, parody and comedy are right there, explicitly stated.
And underground rap perhaps points to its intended audience, a specific online niche that gets this kind of humor.
Maybe. And speaking of reach, that Genius page, when we looked, said 1 viewer. Just one.
Wow. Yeah, that's tiny.
What does that suggest? Super new or just incredibly niche?
Could be either, really. Or maybe Genius just isn't where its audience lives, but it definitely adds to that underground feel. It's not exactly mainstream, is it?
Not yet, anyway. Now, the YouTube transcript, it pretty much matches the Genius lyrics, confirms everything.
Good to know. Consistent message.
The channel is Juju Cartoons, but the video title calls the group The Titans Execute Them All. Producer credit is at your boy Sponge, which lines up.
The Titans versus Juju Cartoons. A slight difference. Maybe the Titans is the name of the specific project or group within the Juju Cartoons umbrella?
Could be, or just minor inconsistency. Doesn't really change the core idea, though.
Agreed. The concept is the same. Famous cartoons, shocking lyrics.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Execute Them All by Juju Cartoons, or The Titans.
Yeah.
It seems pretty clearly designed to be provocative. It's packed, absolutely packed, with references.
And it weaponizes nostalgia, right? Taking these childhood figures and twisting them into these aggressive, crude, hyper-referential rap personas.
The humor seems to come directly from that clash, that fundamental disconnect, plus the sheer speed and volume of the pop culture nods.
So the final thought then for you listening, thinking about this wild mix, the innocent characters, the brutal lyrics, the nonstop references, the comedy tags, who is this actually for?
Yeah, what's the intended audience? Is it purely internet shock value, just for a quick, maybe uncomfortable laugh?
Or is there maybe a sharper satirical edge? Is it poking fun at music trends, internet culture, maybe even fandom itself?
What did you find most surprising or memorable about this deep dive? That contrast, a specific reference. It's definitely something to think about.